Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the world of home automation with me, your host, Paul Hibbert, and welcome to this thing. This is a downlight. It goes in your ceiling that way up. But I personally think that this is quite a good-looking thing, and this heatsink doesn't get hot enough for me to be concerned about using it as a lamp. If I remove these little tabs, I think that will look pretty cool. This is a competitor to Philips Hue, in my opinion. It is a pretender to Philips Hue, and it pretends so well that even Philips thinks this is a Philips Hue lamp. You can use the Philips Hue app to control this, and most importantly, you can use Alexa to control this natively. No hacks, no messing about, just works straight out of the box. I almost forgot one incredibly important detail. You'll need a Philips Hue bridge in order to control this lamp. This lamp is a replacement to a Philips Hue lamp and therefore requires a Philips Hue bridge to control it. There is a link in the description if you'd like to buy a Philips Hue bridge. It's a well-made product. This is physically tough. That's not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. And I've opened it up, and inside, I think hopefully you can see on the camera there, all that wiring looks nice and tight and well soldered and well put together. The only thing that feels a little bit loose is this plastic front flopping around, but I'm not overly worried. I can glue that. So this video is a quick unboxing, which is not very exciting, a side-by-side comparison, which is terribly exciting, and I'm not going to finish this up with a review because this first portion I consider to be the review. Here is my review. This is awesome. It's only £30. It's a third of the price of a Philips Hue lamp, and it's very comparable, and here is a video of just how comparable it is. Enjoy. Right, I am unboxing a smart downlight. I have no idea what the brand of this is. There will be a link in the description as to where you can get this, but basically this device is an excellent replacement for the Philips Hue lamps, if you can find a way of housing it, so that this metal part isn't going to burn a hole in your carpet or something. Or you can use it as its intended purpose, which is a downlight. So you would install it into your ceiling if you're a person that likes light coming from your ceiling. I was recently in somewhat of a kerfuffle with a gentleman in my comments section who said, it was a stupid argument, but he was basically touting the benefits of having coloured light coming from your ceiling. To me, having coloured light coming from my ceiling is... it's not really what I want. I like to light my walls with colour. I like a standard light in my ceiling. So dear friend, kindly remind that this downlight's connected to Hue by automatic search like the original Hue bulb. If you cannot found it, please try to turn it off and on for 5 times to reset it. Any question? Feel free to contact me before asking a return. Wish you happy every day. Oh, bless. Wish you happy every day. I love that. Sincere Judy. So I don't want to mock anybody who doesn't have English as their first language. I can't speak anything but English. I am amazed that anyone can speak English at all, being as it's the most complicated language in the universe. So I'm not going to mock the bad English, but it does make me chuckle. It's just one of those things that tickles me. So I'm going to slip it out of its bag. I am probably going to find a way to house this so I can use it just as a lamp. So I'm not going to install it in my ceiling. And you can see I've just got 2 cables there. So I should be able to fit those to a standard UK plug just by plugging them into live and neutral. And it won't need earth because it's super low powered because it's LED, I think. I'm going to ask my dad. He knows this stuff better than I do, and he will be able to tell me whether that's a safe thing to do. And then, I don't know if I'll just point it at a wall or something. I actually I love stuff like this for the way it looks, and I think it's a shame to stuff that into a ceiling. I quite like the back of that. I'd quite like to put it in a little glass orb like the Philips Hue lamps are, and it would work in exactly the same way. And maybe I'll find a way of doing that with my glass orb making machine. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But that is an unboxing of a no-name brand, or at least a brand that I don't recognise. There's some information on the back. It's a KSZB DLR GBW07W-A. And I'm going to connect this to the mains and see what it looks like. Okay, so I don't have anywhere to install this downlight, so what I'm going to do is connect it to just an ordinary plug. I've cut off something else and bared the wires. Dead easy to bare the wires. If you've never done it before, I'm sure you can find a YouTube video which will teach you how to bare some wires on a plug. But what I've basically got to do is connect these two things to these two things. And I'm going to do it just as a test, but what I might do is keep this permanently, as I said earlier, so I can... They don't get very hot LEDs, so I can probably just leave this on a carpet facing a wall somewhere, just like a normal Philips Hue lamp. So all I've got to do is connect these cables together, and I'm going to use some of these trusty things, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp these down onto these wires, either end, and then I'm going to put some electrical tape around it to secure it in place. Okay, I'm satisfied that's secure, so I'm going to plug it in. That is super bright. It's a really, really bright set of LEDs, which is great because it's intended to be a downlighter. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So the next thing to do is to train the Philips Hue bridge to this bulb, assuming it's going to work, and then we should be able to change the colour of it. Okay, so with our light switched on, I'm going to go to the Philips app. Just seem to have two of for some reason. Well done, Philips. Losers. So my living room is already set up, and I'm going to add an extra light. I'm going to go to light setup. I'm going to add another light. And then I'm going to search for a light. And it's now scanning. So is it going to find... Oh, blimey. There it is. That was quick. I'm going to name it. I'll call it down light. Awesome. Theoretically then, I can get Alexa to scan for new devices, and she should find a new smart light called Downlight. So let's see if that works. So I'm going to go to Smart Home, and then Discover Devices. So she's found 16, and we can see we've got downlight, which is known as a colour light. So we now have a downlight that Alexa can control. Okay, so I've adjusted the colour balance on my camera to be as close to reality as humanly possible. You'll notice I've made the right hand look a little bit uglier than the left hand by sticking a screwdriver underneath it. That's simply to try and angle it in a similar direction. So on the left we have Philips Hue, and on the right we have the Chinese downlight. And what I've noticed immediately is the downlight is brighter. I guess that's simply because it's intended as a downlight, whereas obviously the Philips Hue is intended as a lamp. I think it's nice to have the choice, though. I mean, I get that perhaps you're not going to want a lamp to ever be quite as bright, but it's nice to have the option. So for a third of the price, you can have a brighter lamp. I've had it running for quite a while now, and the metal part isn't hot enough for me to worry about burning the carpet. So you could use this lamp, this downlight, as a lamp. And you can see the colours are pretty close for the most part. So if I go to a slightly more purple there, I think there's a bit more pink in the downlight. To a brighter purple, definitely more pink in the right-hand light to my eye. Although again, they're pretty close. More of a purple. They're pretty close. There is still more pink in the right-hand lamp. Let's try blue. And I've got to say, Philips Hue not doing the best job of being blue there either. There you go, that's close-ish. There you go, that's a bit of a better blue. Very close, really good. Let's try lighter blue. Really close. Okay, so now we're starting to see some discrepancy. So somewhere between blue and green, we've got far more green in the left-hand light than we have in the right-hand light. And we've got a bit of a problem when you start to look for greens in the right-hand light. We're not getting green at all. We're getting light blue or teal. A bit closer. So it's struggling with the greens a little bit. It's adding either a little bit too much yellow or a little bit too much blue. depending on where you place it. Yeah, so quite different with the greens. Let's try some yellows. That's really close. Quite an orangey yellow from Philips Hue. Let's try a more yellowy yellow if we can get one. So again, with Philips Hue, not quite really getting the yellow that I'm looking for on the screen anyway. But both lamps are very close on what Philips Hue thinks is a yellow. Come on, Philips. That's as yellow as I think I'm going to get. It looks like it probably would look a little bit more yellow if the right-hand lamp wasn't affecting the light. So the right-hand lamp is failing a little bit with greens and yellows, I think. Although, if this was the only lamp you owned, I don't think you would notice a great deal. And I think you could probably get a yellow. There you go, that's fairly yellow coming out the right-hand lamp, but I just had to select slightly more of a green tint to get to it. So if you just had a bunch of these downlights instead of Philips Hue lamps, you probably wouldn't notice a great deal that the colours weren't 100% accurate. Especially if you're picking oranges and reds and blues, because they're pretty accurate. That's really close on a red. Let's go somewhere towards white. So the Philips Hue got a bit more blue in it for whites. Let's just go strictly to what should be whites. You can see there's quite a difference there. There's quite a lot more yellow when I pick somewhere around the centre. But what I have to say is I felt that I could get a better white out of the downlight than I could get out of the Philips Hue lamp. Perhaps just because the lamp is brighter. But yeah, if you look at that, that's white to me coming out the right-hand side. And I've gone somewhere closer to blue, and yet the Philips Hue lamp is giving me some red in that, which I have no idea why. So Philips Hue is not perfect in itself anyway. So I'm quite, I'd say I'm very impressed with the downlight and its ability to replicate the colours, considering it's not supposed to be able to. I mean, I don't know how long this is going to last before Philips decide to do something about it. Whether they can do anything about it, I'm not sure, because if they're going to stop this downlight from working, you'll probably find they're going to stop all their own lamps from working as well. I suppose they could probably throw out a firmware update that might ruin this for us. But hopefully not. So, I mean, that is awesome. I think that's really impressive. So brightness-wise, we dim them down to a bit of a lower percentage. You can still see that the right-hand light is quite a bit brighter. But the dimming function works, and you can get this light as dim as you like. You can get it really dim. That's as dim as it goes. And look, it's dimmer than the Philips Hue lamp. So you actually have more control over the brightness, I would say, with the downlight than you do with the Philips Hue lamp. For one, you can get it darker, and for one, you can get it brighter. So the downlight, in my opinion, is better for brightness, almost as good for colour reproduction, and could be used as a lamp instead of a downlight, because it doesn't get massively hot, especially considering you're probably not going to want it on full brightness all the time, because it's probably going to be too bright. So if you dim this LED lamp down to about 50%, I don't think it's going to get hot enough to burn your carpet. You might want to put it on a coaster or something just to make sure. But I think that you've got a pretty cool option there for a lamp or a downlight. I'm very impressed. So the final question is, will it work with Alexa? Let's find out. Alexa, turn on the downlight.
Okay.
Alexa, turn off the downlight.
Okay.
If you want to buy this downlight or use it as a lamp, the links are in the description, as are my PayPal links if you're feeling particularly generous and want to keep me going. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.